India is trying for a faster transition towards low carbon emissions, and in this regard, India is also trying to strengthen its 20-year-old law, that is Energy Conservation Act 2001. Hello and welcome to the In Focus series section of Drishti IAS. I am Aisha Singh, and in today's video we will be talking about the provisions that are prescribed in the Energy Conservation Act 2001 and why does India needs carbon market. So let's see the timeline of the video, what all we will be discussing. First we will be looking at the news, then energy conservation, what are the new provisions that has been given in the parliament or that has been talked about in the parliament, then what are carbon markets that are so much in news, what is the history of carbon markets, global scenario and Indian scenario regarding the carbon markets. In the end we will be looking into a prelims MCQ and a mains practice question. This topic is of relevance from General Studies paper 3 Environment Conservation. From prelims perspective, you should be knowing what are carbon markets and what are the new provisions that are being talked about. And from mains perspective, you should be knowing about the carbon markets, new provisions, global and Indian scenario. So let's get started and see the news, and the news has been taken from the explained section of Indian Express, and the news reads, what is a carbon market and why does India want to create one? So there are mainly two components. First we'll be talking about that what is carbon market, and secondly that why does India need a carbon market. So the two questions is what and why. So let's see that why the carbon markets are so much in news. See, India is now trying to achieve more ambitious climate change targets, because India is also one of the major emitters of the greenhouse gases or the carbon emissions, as it is also growing and the manufacturing sector of India is also growing. Then India is also ensuring a faster transition to a low carbon economy. So in this regard, it is trying to strengthen its 20-year-old law, that is the Energy Conservation Act of 2001, because it is the Energy Conservation Act which talks about all the provisions and what is legal and what is not in India. Then India's shift to a more energy efficient future, as we all know that India's population will be growing in the future also, so we need to take care of our resources, and conserving energy and using energy even more efficiently is of prime importance. Then a bill has been prescribed in the parliament to amend the Energy Conservation Act 2001, and there are two major objectives in the bill that is of relevance for us from the exam perspective, and that is, the first objective is to make it compulsory. The important word here is compulsory. To make it compulsory for a select group of industrial, commercial and even residential consumers to use green energy. See, this is a very important point, because earlier the Energy Conservation Act of 2001 does not include the residential consumer aspect. This has been prescribed. Earlier it was not present, but now it has been added in it. So, and it says that it would be compulsory for industrial, commercial and residential consumers to use what? Green energy. So what is green energy? That is important to know. You must be knowing what is green energy. Green energy is when the natural resources or the renewable resources is used. That is like the solar energy, wind energy, water energy. That is what is called the green energy. Then a prescribed minimum proportion, it means minimum this has to be done. Minimum proportion of the energy use must come from renewable or non-fossil fuel sources. So a minimum limit would be given that this much needs to come from the renewable or the non-fossil fuel sources, as we have just talked about the green energy. Then the second objective talks about, it seeks to establish a domestic carbon market and facilitate trade in carbon credit. So in this point also, there are two important aspects. First is what is carbon market. Second is what is carbon credit. We will just be looking about this in detail. So India is looking for a domestic carbon market and to facilitate trade in carbon credits. So now let's talk about energy conservation. See, okay, what is the difference between energy conservation and energy efficiency? People get confused in this, but these are two different aspects. So what is the difference between energy efficiency and energy conservation? See, energy conservation means something which is already present and we need to conserve it. We cannot waste it, we need to conserve it and pass it on to the future generation. While energy efficiency on the other hand means you must have seen that the ratings are given whenever you see a refrigerator or air conditioner, then there are ratings which you can read over them. So there are 3 ratings, 4 ratings, while we look for a 5 rating air conditioner or a 5 rating refrigerator, because it says that it is very efficient, it works very efficiently. So it means the same work can be done in lesser and by using less energy. So while working efficiently, it means you are working more productively. So this is the difference between energy conservation and energy efficiency. So now what are we talking about? We are talking about energy conservation. So it says that the standards for energy conservation and efficiency. So the India's standards for energy conservation and efficiency talks about. Then efficiency standards were also prescribed for equipments and appliances like I just said, air conditioner or refrigerators. And the Bureau of Energy Efficiency, that is BEE, is also been made under the Energy Conservation Act 2001. And BEE promote the use of more efficient processes and equipment in order to save energy. And this is what the BEE logo looks like. BEE is Bureau of Energy Efficiency. So okay, see this picture. You must have seen it somewhere on the other in your house, or if you haven't seen it till now, then go to the refrigerator which is kept in your house or to the air conditioner and see this and see it. This kind of rating must be there or you will be able to find it. So this is what the rating that the BEE, that is Bureau of Energy Efficiency, gives, that what kind of a product you people are using. So star ratings, this, and these are the star ratings. Then star ratings on various household appliances and a shift to LED bulbs. So the one of the biggest achievement of the BEE is the star ratings that they started giving, and they made us to switch towards the LED bulb. Or earlier what we were using was those yellow kind of bulbs, which was consuming even more energy. Then it talks about improving energy efficiency across sectors, and much more productivity can be obtained from the same amount of energy. This is what is called energy efficiency, that obtaining more productivity from the same amount of energy. Now let's talk about the new provisions that are being talked about in the Parliament, trying to standardize the Energy Conservation Act 2001. Then it says that energy consumption standards would be specified for motor vehicles, ships and other water vessels, industrial units and buildings. So for all these aspects, energy consumption standards will be specified. Then the second is, in case of vehicles and water vessels, fuel consumption norms would be defined. So here is fuel consumption norms, and here we are talking about the energy consumption standards. Third is prohibit. Prohibit, this is the different word. Prohibit, it means to stop, prohibit the manufacture or import. So two different things. Even the manufacture and the import, means from outside also there will prohibition should be there on any vehicle or water vessel if it does not conform to the prescribed energy standards. Then a minimum set of standards every motor vehicle or water vessels should be able to have. If they do not possess it, then the even the manufacture inside the country or the import from outside would not be allowed, because that will be very harmful for our environment. Then new sustainable building codes are to be defined. Even the buildings will have certain kind of codes that would be defined. Now let's talk about the primary idea, that is the carbon market. So what are carbon markets? Carbon markets allow the trade of carbon credits with the overall objective of bringing down emissions, that is the carbon emissions. Its ultimate aim is to bring down the carbon emissions. So inside what is a market? What is the concept of a market? Wherever you people go to market, why do you go? Because you know there are few things. There are sellers and there are buyers. When sellers have things, they sell, and buyers who are in need, they go into the market and they buy those stuff from the sellers. So there are two entities. So same type in carbon market also there are two entities. First you can say the developed nation, and second the developing or the least developed nation. While the developed nation are countries which are emitting the highest amount of carbon emissions, while the other countries are not doing that much. So the other countries will be, because they are not contributing the emissions that much to the environment, will have more carbon credit, while the developed nations will not be having that much of carbon credit. So these both countries will be in a market, and the developed nation will go and buy the carbon credits from the other countries which are having the carbon credits, and they will take it. So this is same as what happens inside a market. And these markets create incentives to reduce emissions or improve energy efficiency. So if energy efficiency would be improved and carbon emissions would be reduced. These two are the aims of carbon markets. So let's just understand the concept of carbon market through this chart or image. See, this is emitter A and this is emitter B, and this is the standard line till which one can produce the carbon emissions. So if you are able to see this, you can take example of developed nation. So they have given much more excessive carbon emissions, and they have crossed the mark line which was prescribed. While this aspect you can see the least developed countries or the developing countries, and this is the line, and they have produced less than the prescribed limit. So these have produced more and they have produced less emissions. So they have, this is the line, or this is the space in which they can get the carbon credits, while the developed nations would need carbon credits for them to be able to compensate that more emissions they have done. So what will they do is, this developed nation, to compensate for the more carbon emissions that they have done, they will buy the carbon credits from the least developed countries or the developing countries, and in return they will give monetary benefits to them. So they will sell the carbon credits and they will purchase the carbon credits. And where will this happen? This will happen in carbon market. So this is what is called the concept of carbon markets, and this is how the sale and purchase of carbon credits can be done, so that the developed countries can actually compensate for their more emissions and can contribute to the environment in this sense. Now let's talk about how the concept of carbon market came into existence. So it was first talked about during the Kyoto Protocol, that carbon markets have worked at the international level as well. So it's not that the concept of carbon market is new. The concept of carbon market has been going on, and in Europe it works very well, while it is also working in China. So the emission reduction targets for a group of developed countries, there are a targets is given to the developed countries that this much is the target, and we should not be producing carbon emissions more than this. Then other countries did not have such targets because they are not contributing that much towards the carbon emissions. Then these carbon credits could then be sold off to those developed countries, as I've just discussed in the previous slide, which had an obligation to reduce emissions but were unable to. So because the developed countries has produced more and they are unable to compensate for it, so they will buy the carbon credit from the other countries. But the market collapsed. So the carbon market mechanism, or the mechanism did not work very well, and it collapsed because of the lack of demand for carbon credits. This is about the history. Now let's see the global scenario. See, domestic or regional carbon markets are already functioning in several places like the Europe or China. So in Europe, what majorly works is emission trading scheme, that is ETS. Then industrial units in Europe has prescribed emission standards to adhere to, and they buy and sell credits based on their performance. So the ETS scheme, that is the emission trading scheme, has been going on in Europe. Now let's talk about the Indian scenario. In India also, the PAT scheme has been going on since a very long time, and PAT scheme is perform, achieve and trade, and from the name itself you will be able to find out that what the PAT scheme does. And this PAT scheme works under the BEE, that is Bureau of Energy Efficiency. BEE scheme are units to earn efficiency certificates if they outperform the prescribed efficiency standards. This is what has happened in India. So the important point is, first is the PAT scheme, and under which it is working, it is the BEE scheme, and PAT is perform, achieve and trade. So now we will come to the prelims MCQ, and this says that regarding carbon credits, which one of the following statements are not correct? Then out of these four, A, B, C, D, which one is not correct? I am not asking about the correct one. Which one is not correct? A is carbon credit was ratified with the Kyoto Protocol. B, they are awarded to countries that have reduced greenhouse gases below their emission quota. C, its goal is to limit the increase of carbon dioxide emissions. And D, they are traded at a price fixed from time to time by the UNESCO. So you people need to tell me the answer in the comment section, and which one is not correct. I am again saying the not correct statement you people have to tell me. Now let's come to the last aspect, that is the mains practice question, and it says, what are carbon markets and why are they necessary for both developed and developing countries? Explain. It is a 10-marker question, and the command given here is explain, and you need to tell that why and what. This is what we have done today. So that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Till we meet next time, keep reading and keep writing.